Welcome, fam and friends, to the longest running show on earth. You ready? Let's get into it. So hard to leave this place. Easy to know, easy to feel it when you let the world's problems slip away. Sitting all alone, sitting alone under the sunlight, feeling all that pure light on your face. We are the sun. We are the sun. We are to be sitting in the sun. Feeling all of that beautiful, pure light on your face. Place all that negativity, yeah, you got it all inside you. It's a drain you. It's holding on to your core. You can't get rid of it. You got to let it go. You cannot let it take your soul. No, you cannot let it be a part of you. You need to detach it from your everyday. Just show up and we'll help you with that. Yeah, we'll help you with that. We are the sun. When it's dark outside, we'll be the light. Scorching earth with darkness, and will extinguish their hatred, their fear-based propaganda, slowing us down no longer. No, they can't stop what we got here. It's bound to blow out this atmosphere. Yeah, 'cause we are the sun. Yeah, we are the sun. Yes, we are, fam and friends. We are the sun, yeah. baby, yeah. So let fly back, yeah. We are the sun, we are the sun, yeah. We are the sun. We are the sun. We are the sun. It's dark outside. It's Tuesday. It's Mark Pires. And we're at it again. Day 1,457 in a row of the show that's here every day for you. Living in the moment, writing songs, creating comedy, and trying to inspire you to do something great with your moment. You can't tell people to do great things with their lives. They have to do great things with their moments in order to do great things with their lives. You could say, oh, I want to do something. Well, how are you going to do it? The only way you do it is by starting right this very second. And I hope that you do find that inspiration. I hope you do find the joy that we try to bring you here on a daily basis. And we're going to do some more review. That was one of my songs from last year. You can pick that up on iTunes. It's called We Are the Sun. We got lots of stuff like that, like Nothing Can Stop the Light. Ooh, I may have to play that one for you. That I think I started crying at the end of that one because it was such a powerful song. You know, these songs are written live in the moment. So it is the truest form of emotion. And you know, when you watch something that's contrived, a movie script that comes to life on silver screen, so to speak, like a story is taking you, it's manipulating you in order to get to an endpoint. That's what it happens. You start from the beginning and a story starts taking place that's been very well crafted. If you can go somewhere on a daily basis and go on a journey, an emotional journey, that is happening live in the moment. If anything, it hopefully will inspire you to say, I want to do things like that on my own. I'm just going to go and I'm going to just walk and I'm not going to worry about what's in the door on the left or the right. I'm going to open both. Don't be afraid to have conversations with people. You know, I have this weird theory that when you see someone, you're meant to say hello to them. So for example, you're walking through the grocery store and you see the guy you went to high school with. And you're not supposed to turn your head down and walk by. There's a reason you're supposed to say hello, because you wouldn't run into each other for no reason. The world is not designed in a way where people that you may know and even this goes to even something deeper. The people that you see all around you are meant to guide you places and help you if you're willing to ask. I don't do enough of it, but they are. Everybody around you is. And we just don't know what questions to ask. But at all times, there's somebody in your vicinity who can answer a question you need answered. And you just have to figure out what it is you need and if that person is the one to do it. But I do believe that's what the universe provides for us. We have to be more open and vulnerable and say, you know, I need help, or can you give me some guidance? Matt Zabrowski, how about a woohoo for day 1457 in a row? Throwing it to you. Woohoo! Right? Oh, that was a good one. What's that? Zabrowski. He goes, that was a 9+. Zabrowski, when you start trying to grade your own woohoo, we got a problem. You know, look, we're going into a new year. Let's reset the rules, just so you understand. I'm the one who does the, here's what you did tonight, Zabrowski. I rate you 1 to 10. Fine, 7 to 10. He goes, you've never given me under 7. I get it. It may be coming though, Zabrowski. If you don't bring it, I may just throw you a 6.8 or whatever. Aiming for wisdom in the house. So good to see you. Oh, goodness, right? Aiming is, we're all, I think, is this similar path of trying to get the world to wake up from the darkness that's being perpetuated. And everybody can get to the light however they get to the light, as long as they get to the light. And Yeshua, yeah, he delivers the light. And I think that unfortunately we live in a world where people are not willing to go back into a book and try to envision or try to understand how something put into a book could be totally 100% factual, especially when in today everything that we see is a friggin' lie. It's a book in front of me. It's a lie, though. Now, that one's different. There's way too many things that line up. But this is what I believe this entire society head fake is about, is to get us to start questioning the validity of things like that, because all they do is introduce us to confusion and lies. And when the people who are above are supposed to be guiding us and what they're doing is leading us towards our own destruction, then you really have to start saying, well, what do we do next? We need to start gathering. And this is the one place that I know of that has been gathering every single day for 1,457 days in a row. And it's interesting to me that in that entire time, we can't get 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 people here that want to come together and say, stop the hate. We write songs about that. And the people, and we talked about this last night, there's 10 million people online right now, at least, that would love what we do. They just can't find us. And they'll never find us because the man is afraid of me. Oh, just poor little realtor. What are they afraid of you for, Mark? I don't know. Except I do. I do. And I don't believe I would be showing up here every day for as long as I have if I didn't believe that what I'm doing is a noble cause and that it needs to be done. Someone needs to provide hope in this day and age that we're living when everything's about fear. Geez, this guy's been here during that entire thing we went through. He was live during all of it. He didn't take a day off. He didn't get sick. He didn't go and have to go and get. I was sick a few times, I think I did 2 hours those nights. It's so weird. The couple times in the last 4 years that I was sick, I came out here like my eyes were, I was like, ugh, guys, as soon as I freaking grabbed that guitar, we wrote a song. It was just like, don't listen to the men. Derek, how are you, my friend? So good to see you. We're about to write something like this. Don't listen to the man. Don't listen to the man. You know he's trying to get you down. Like he do every day, yeah. We're living in the twilight zone, yes. Nothing makes sense, no. Up is down, oh, yeah. Don't listen to the men, no, no. So we write songs, that's what we do. And there's 196. On iTunes, Spotify. The reason I mention iTunes is because I'm an independent music artist. I don't have a record label. I don't have a manager. I don't have a sponsor. I'm a realtor. I make money selling real estate. And I've never made any money at this show. This is just the people who come out and donate to the show, which when you click on the link in the corner, you can do that. But that's the only money I've ever made. I've never made any money for this. And that's the reason why things had to change and shift into something more short form, because I can't put too much time into something that doesn't provide for my family. I'm married. I have 3 kids. For 4 years, I've shown up every day for this world without making a dollar for that. I don't know anybody that would do anything for free. I do it every day. So the reality is, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the souls that I'm hoping to reach. I don't know anything more pure than just showing up and living in this moment and creating for the people who have an open mind and an open heart and want to maybe connect instead of divide. That's all I know. And so all I can say is I truly love you. And I don't know why. It's like I even find some people that are like, the couple trolls that have come through, like, how come I'm able to just send them love? Yeah, I'm snapping back because, look, I'm quick. I create comedy in the moment. So if someone wants to try to get comedically witty with me, I'm going to smack them in the freaking face. But then I'm going to send love their way because I don't know how to be a jerk. And after 4 years of doing this every day, I haven't seen the world get anything but worse. And that's the only thing that bothers me is I'm like, we need to reach the world before it destructs. Because I don't know, I mean, like, I feel great when I come out here and I do this. And I know the family that does come out here and hangs with us every day does too. But guys, we're leaving a lot of souls just to be tortured on a daily basis. And I don't know what else to do. I can't, like, I joked before, like, if for some reason the internet's dropped and all of a sudden you can't, there's nothing else, you can't, like, wherever the closest mountaintop is, I'll be there with my beat seat and my guitar. And I'll probably be singing songs and trying to bring people together. Because if you can't do anything else, there's no, electricity or whatever, and you can't get around. I got, like, I guess maybe about 100, 200 miles left on my electric car. I'll go into the closest freaking mountaintop, see if I can start gathering people in order to provide some hope. And that's what we need to start giving each other hope, lifting each other up. We talk about lifting each other up all the time, but we need to start lifting each other up. Like, this is the time in history where those who have a heart need to start using it and start saying no to the things you see that are wrong. And they are plenty. And it's like, the divide is so, it's like a chasm. There's no bridge that you can put from side to side anymore. You have to meet in the middle, at the bottom. Have some humility. Say, yeah, you know what? We shouldn't have done that. And you got to say the same thing. And let's come here and let's come together and shake hands and figure this out. But we're not there. People want to hate and kill. Like I said this a couple weeks back, but I put up a piece of content and all of a sudden the freaking crazies, these people who are like all in on what they hear in the news, just started freaking. I realized it. I was like, I became a target of them in like a day, like within a moment. And they were making videos trying to take me down. It was like crazy. I was like, what the? And it was just unbelievable. And I started realizing that you could be a divider or you could be a connector. And I'm still doing the news over on TikTok because we've grown to 17,000 followers plus, like 17.5. And that's the way that seems to go. They won't share any of my comedy. They don't share my music. But they'll share when I do a story about freaking Elon Musk or Sam Bankman-Fried. So I'm doing those. But the reality is, this is what we do best. Getting everybody away from the crap. And I hope that there's a way, and somebody who's smart enough, because this is what you have to realize in life. You have your strengths and you have your weaknesses. What I'm not good at is organizing all of this freaking content. 3,000 pieces of content. I don't even know how to go through it. I was trying to scroll through to find pieces of content to play for you guys for this best of. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember all that. But I'm like, I got to get it all so well organized. So it's almost playing like a movie in a way, you know? And like there's all this Dick Face stuff I want to play for you. And then there's all this Supermark and Stuck on Mars, and we have these raps we did, and there's just, it's ridiculous. The face swaps, everything we did here was just over the top silly, but that was the point. We were going through the worst of it. And what do you need? When they're trying to distract you with fear, don't you need a different distraction to counterbalance you so you can actually think clearly? The one thing I know about fear is when you have fear brought upon you, you cannot think clearly. You make rash decisions that are not good for you. It's usually almost every time the wrong decision. You're not clear. You're acting. And this is what they know. You think that it's by chance that they put fear into the news every day for 3 years for you? It was so you couldn't think clearly. So you'd sit around the table talking about what they wanted you to talk about, living in fear of the thing that they told you about. Go and get in line again. The first one didn't work. We do it again. Where are we at now? 5? What the? Been here for 4 years. I'm not saying what I know. All I'm saying is use your heart, use your intuition, and don't let anybody tell you what you can do with you. You have one body, one soul. Protect it at all costs. You know, some people were really forced, and that's a freaking real issue for me. Nobody should ever be forced in any corner. And you know what the weird thing is? Like, you're threatening their families. You threaten their families when you do that. And they literally did it. And it wasn't real, because if you actually look at it, nothing was actually filed. It was just the president of the United States instead standing in front of people saying, we're going to mandate you to do this. And everybody just forced it. And they just were like, oh, well, that's mandated. No, it wasn't mandated. It's what he wanted and what they wanted, and which was to force you to do something that you may or may not want to do. You should be able to say what you want to do. And we started to get into this tyrannical situation that we were in. And I said, look, every night I could shut it off. I don't know where the pick went when I threw it last night. Guys, when you throw a freaking pick. Is that it? Where'd you put my pick, Mike? Hey, Joanne, did you eat my pick again? Joanne, I guess we're playing without a pick, Joanne. Why don't you just tune it first, and then we'll figure that part out. No pick. So I just want to finish up by saying one thing. I have a schmoothie tonight. You know, like we gotta figure out how to, no matter how bad, and this is the thing, it's bad. Like, it's bad. And there's some times where it's really, really, really bad. And the problem is, I talked about this the other night, like we're all at different places on the track. We're all at different places in our lives, different moments, different ages. We have different thoughts in our minds. The same family sitting in a room thinking about different stuff. If you could be in their heads and wonder, you know, get a feel of what's actually going on. Totally different thoughts. Because of the road in front of them. And that's just kind of cool in a way, you know. But I would say I'm starting to really believe more and more that we may have something beyond this. It may be heaven. It may be coming back because we're just in this cycle where all we do is keep coming back, and that's why we know that humans have been here millions and millions of years. I think it's been a lot longer than they say, and maybe not here, but we are here. I had a question. Somebody tell me, has anybody actually seen this yet? Like, I want to see like this, like, I don't know, got these apes, I don't know, we'll call them chimpanzees, right? And they're doing it. And all of a sudden, they make a baby. But not like a chimpanzee baby. They make like a human baby. Like, that's what I want to see, you know? Like, that would be really cool to see an actual evolutionary moment of when, you know, some other chimpanzees are just like, yeah, we're going to have a friggin' human now, you know, start a new genetic line today. You know, we just decided to do that. Like, I have to figure that keeps happening throughout time because it happened once before. So there's other like human-like beings being created all the time from chimpanzees, you know? I just read a couple things recently that, like, when you're talking about survival of the fittest, I get it. You know, I mean, we're talking about similar things. I get that. You know what I mean? But when Darwin, again, this may just be me talking out of my left toe. Apparently he's into Satan. Like, he's a Satanist. Yeah. And so what would he want to do except get you to think that God didn't exist? I think we evolve clearly. You know, we get taller and we get our traits and our talents have improved over time, where intelligence becomes something that's more innate from our genetic code, potentially. I'm not sure, but we learn from our parents as we continue to grow and pass generation to generation. But the idea that we came from apes or came from chimpanzees is just freaking stupid. I'm sorry. It's just stupid. You know, we came from it's crazy. You know what? I think, to me, what sounds less stupid is that we came from some other planet and we were dropped here a couple million years ago. That planet was not doing well, and we knew how to travel and find some place to safely survive and continue on as a species. And that's why we're here. You know, and all the different species, there were like 7 or 8 different types of humans, and then we killed off all the other ones, the Denisovans, and, you know, guys, go look it up. They were not at different times. It wasn't, the Homo erectus, and then it was the Homo sapiens at this time. No, we were all here at the same time, and we freaking murdered all of them, and we're the only ones left. And that is history that they don't, I don't know, again, you hear these stories and you don't know if they're accurate, you know, but that to me sounds a little more accurate than that it was something that we just continued to evolve into these. And we could have potentially, when we mated with these different types of humanoid type species, and we were the survival of the fittest deal, you know. But I think in general, you know, we have this connection to a history much longer than they say, and I don't believe that we are some ancestor connection with the freaking chimpanzee. Like, you know, when they say we have 99.9% of the same genetic code as a chimpanzee, do you know why they say that? Because they found, I don't know the exact number. I should pull this up on the screen so we can look at it. When you look at the genetic code of a chimpanzee, all of these different codes that they have within the DNA, like they may see something where this X294 is over here, but on a human it's up here. So all of those little discrepancies that are in there, which was 2.1 billion, I think, 2.1 billion discrepancies, I want to say. They just took all those and said, nah, we'll just disregard them. And then all of the other ones matched up to 99.9%. They threw away the rest of the information. How is that science? that to me would be roughly, I don't know, 40% of your entire data you threw away. And you said, because I think they had like 3.1 million, that they kept, and they threw away like 2.1 million. And like, how do you just throw it away and pretend that that doesn't matter? Because there's discrepancies. You're just like, we'll disregard it, and this is the stuff that matches. Like, how is that science? So we're probably more like 67% similar to a chimpanzee if you look at the entire genetic structure, not the things that are accurate and similar to a chimpanzee and to a human. No, this is the way the code looks down the line. You're not pulling out any differences and things that you didn't understand and say, we'll just throw them aside and pretend they don't exist, which again was in the billions. It was like a 2.1 or 1.7 billion, something like that. I got to find this now. This is pissing me off. I don't even know how we got to this, but the point is this. I don't want to say like 100%. I just came across this recently. Then I just started thinking more and more about it. And I said, to me, it makes sense that we, came from some other freaking planet. Just like we're thinking about doing the same thing. Oh, okay. Well, that seems far-fetched, Mark. Does it? Does it feel far-fetched? I wrote a movie about it. This is the movie. It's in the future. Thousands of years in the future. Millions of years in the future. We're doing it, And it's like a Star Wars type movie. People are freaking out, dying, And this group that they're living on this planet, and they're like, we got to get out of here. They're going to destroy our planet, and we got to go. They're like, okay, jump on the ship. We're going to take you to that place over there. It's blue. They have water. We're going to go drop you off. Droppity Jew. They go down there. You're down there sitting inside a cave, right? You fast forward to the end of the movie. Like, again, there's a lot of stuff here that happens. But you got a space movie millions of years in the future. These people get dropped off. They go run into a cave. This ship goes back to Space Wars 27,227 AD. And they get exploded by some other interplanetary ship, whatever. Okay, so now they're dead. They can't go back to this planet where they left the women and children. I forgot to mention, it's just the women and children. Women and children are there. And they go into this cave, and all of a sudden, the very last shot of the movie, you see a freaking dinosaur foot hit the ground right in front of the cave. And a mom grabs one of the kids and pulls it, because they don't even speak English at that point. And they're just, And then you realize in that moment that it's not millions of years in the future. It's millions of years in the past. And this is Earth. Boom, biggity boo. That was my idea. I came up with it. And why would that not be a real thing? I came up with it as an idea. It's probably accurate. That we were on some, futuristic planet there. Dropped off here. Those people went back to get more. Got killed. Couldn't come back. And then we're here starting off a freaking new civilization. By men and... when you create the best movie ever, it winds up being the reality that you live. You're doing it, Anyway, guys, I'm going to pop something on. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, I'd love to read that. I'd love to read what Enoch has to say. Again, Scripture says Nephilim fallen took women as wives. Scripture also says that would mingle and then would take wives, so they're doing it. DNA mixing. So aiming a wisdom is saying the same thing as me. Aiming for a wisdom is saying the same thing as me. We may not have been dropped off here, but we may have been, genetically created by the Nephilim or by Anunnaki, that type of thing. So you have to search your soul, but also I just can't see this thing that like at some point some couple chimpanzees are like, what the freak is wrong with that baby we had, like, did you guys step out? Like, who were you hanging out with? I was here with you. I thought you were just going out to get popcorn, and then you come back and that's what our freaking kid looks like. Who are you seeing? Did you go see Edgar again? Edgar the freaking chimpanzee? That's the thing. When Edgar the chimpanzee came along, all the other chimpanzees were like, ooh, he's kind of light. He's like a light-skinned chimpanzee. Like, what's going on with that guy? Edgar doing it with the other one. All of a sudden, bang, biggity boo, they create a human being. came out of the freaking chimpanzee, you know? What the hell's wrong? What is that thing? Judy, I'm going to ask you this once before I freaking rip you apart because I'm a chimpanzee. I'm crazy. Who are you banging? What are we talking about here? You gave that her baby? No. I want a paternity test. Where's Maury Povich when you need him? When it comes to the chimpanzee and Judy, the chimpanzee mom, could I have them in the envelope, please? Edgar, you are the father. Bang, biggity, boo. The whole freaking thing, everybody goes crazy. The chimpanzee in the back goes, right? Runs around the freaking, the Maury Povich set. I would have done it too if I was the chimpanzee. If a friend of a chimpanzee back there doing it, Oh. He's doing this. He's drinking a banana. He didn't even freaking peel it. He was just eating the freaking banana. He didn't care. His friend just won. He had a baby. Boy. Human boy. He ripped her apart anyway because he's just a crappy freaking chimpan. You know what I mean? You've heard those stories. These freaking people, they're like, oh, I love my chimpanzee. And then the chimpanzee freaks out and then eats their face. Makes like a freaking ashtray out of their face. They find him. He's playing poker with his friends, smoking cigars. Ashtray. Bad news. Golden Girls. Guys, when you got a Golden Girls deal, right there. Raspberry smoothie. What's that, Joe? No, Joanne, I didn't bring you any. Did you bring me any? For the Weezer? I'm sorry. No. I'm here doing it, the show, trying to monologue through. Maybe I should have gotten you some, I could have gotten you a side cup and just kind of laced it with WD-40. See if we can get some of that lubrication going, or It's better because then we wouldn't hear Joanne sounding like, an old 87 Datsun. The one that had the broken tailpipe? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get that one fixed. What are you putting on? A Flowmaster. Who remembers the Flowmaster? Oh my goodness, that's a reference. Oh my goodness. He's taping down the Rockford Fosgate subs in the back. He doesn't need a freaking enclosure. No, he just throws they roll around in the trunk. Yeah. That's a kicking sound system, though, everybody was like, oh, it's amazing. It sounds like it's coming from here, and then it's over there. Yeah, it's because my freaking speakers roll around the car while I freaking, I'm driving. Take a corner. Puncturing holes in the freaking, the subwoofer. Whatever. I don't care. Rockford, they build them. They build them strong, Yeah. That was the days. Those were the days, Anyway, guys, I'm going to play you guys something here that I think is probably one of the funniest things. Just because the world needs funny things. At least I think the world needs funny things. And I almost grabbed a few things. But Fresh Cut is probably one of my funniest favorite bits. I just love this. Just for reference, if you guys don't know who Dick Face is, he's basically Andrew Dice Clay without swearing. He's also Andrew Dice Clay without being disparaging to what a girl looks like and wanting to get with women. He's not that guy. What he is someone looking for respect. And he's very impatient, as you're about to find out. And just for edification, I just want to make sure nobody understands or starts to question this. We had a family member who was tying this to something that makes no sense to me. I just want you to understand. I have not watched the television in 4 years. This show started on December 31st, 2018. I've been live every day since. I shut off the negatube. That's what I call it. I don't watch the news. I don't watch what's going on around the world. I see a couple of news stories on TikTok or, in my Google News that pops up, but I don't pay attention to the fear mongers. And I will tell you this. This show is all about love and comedy, because comedy is happiness. And it was interesting to me. I thought about how religions in general, they kind of stick to a few things, but they miss one thing. So they bring you inspiration and they bring you scripture and truth. So that's the most powerful thing. And then they give you, I would say, music. So you have that inspiration and music. But I feel like they should have incorporated, like, somehow some sort of a comedy aspect, because that is something people need as well. They need to smile, they need to laugh. And that should be something that's involved in a faith. Coming together and having jokes about something. There should, maybe not jokes, but something. There should be comedy. And it's because it's a form that brings us together. So without further ado, let me share this with you. I hope you enjoy. And Foch is one of my favorites.
Humbug!
Happy holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
I can barely get reception outside the old town.
How long you been waiting? You got any fresh meat in there? How long has it been sitting out? I mean, what are we doing here? I come down to get a fresh cut. You got it sitting out there, flies, 17 days. How dare you? I can't figure. Do I need a number? What do we, lady, we gonna talk? Do I gotta stand behind her? Oh, you smell. What the hell did you eat? How dare you? I'm gonna stand over here, okay? Nobody cutting me, okay? I'm after her. I'm after her, okay? Like, no, you can't go by me. It's her than me, okay? What? No, they don't have fresh meat. No, it's disgusting meat. They got freaking mosquitoes all over it. Hey, you want malaria? You want Dungang fever? Come on over. They got it over here. What are we doing over here? How long is this freaking line? Hey, Toots, what are you getting? What are you getting? You getting that alligator stew? Okay. Not too friendly over here, I see. Do we get numbers? What are we supposed to do? Like when do I know that I'm up? I can't figure what's going on. This lady won't talk to me. Excuse me. Right? Excuse me. Can you tell me, how is the salamander? And do you get monkey brains? Do you cook them? What do we do? She won't talk. Do you speak English? Do you speak the English? What are you doing? How dare this? I can't figure. Do I have to jump around back here? I'm just trying to get attention. I'm looking for some bok choy. How dare you? You can't give me the monkey brains? What are we doing over here? I don't know if I can wait any longer. Is there a bathroom anywhere? I gotta go. I'm looking for, it's not a number 2. Is there a bathroom? What are we doing? Lady, can you let me go next, please? I gotta go to the bathroom. And you're doing this whole thing where you're gonna get freaking sardines or whatever. Let me ask you a question, wet market. So you're here, right? Serving the meat, chicken and pork to the people. Some fish too, I imagine. Smells like fish, I don't know. She does, at least. You can't I don't know, pay respect. And maybe get some meat that's not 74 years old. I see gray meat. I see the flies dying when they go and try to eat the meat. This isn't good. Hold on now, man. What are we doing? Lady, can you move? You're like Sonny in my freaking bit. Do we have a manager? Where are we? I'm gonna stand here all freaking day waiting for him to say next. I'm not next. I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 9 people in freaking front of me. Hold on now, man. I needed a fresh cut. I needed a fresh cut. You can't bring me a fresh cut. I can't figure. I come down to get my fresh cut from Wet Market. You think the guy say, hey, you know what, Fox, we'll put you in there first, okay? You come on next. I got this lady over here. She smells like freaking fish. I don't even know what she ate. Could be something else going on over there. I can't figure. She won't even talk to me. You got a problem, lady? Elbow in the fire. Hold on now a minute, lady. What'd you say? I'm sorry. Elbow in the fudge. What do we do?
What do we do?
You come down to the Wet Market. You try to get some pork and beans? What are you looking for? I'm next after this lady. You want to go in front of me? I'm sorry. I've been sitting here for 17 minutes. This lady smells terrible. I don't know what they're cooking up over there. I see flies everywhere. I see flies going, then they die. Flies going, then they die. What am I still standing here for? I don't even know. This guy over here is having a good time, though. He's enjoying it. Hey, buddy, why don't you chill it out over there? I mean, seriously? Oh, look at me. I'm having such a good time. How dare you? You come down, you disrespect me by sitting there and having a good time like this, watching them chop the freaking heads off the ducks. What do we do? I just can't figure it out. I don't even know anymore. Hold on now, man. Smelly lady over there. What am I still doing at this Wet Market? I can't get respect. You think one of them would say, oh, Dick Foch is here. No. They got me standing out here behind Smelly Lady. I'm thinking about giving her an elbow in the fudge. What, you can't get an elbow in the fudge from the fudge? Hold on now, man. Hold on now, man. You want to give a kick in the side from the fudge? What do we do? Eesh, that's like my other move. You don't even know it. He says it's my 92-degree black belt. I'll come across, I'm just like, what's up? How you doing? Man. Huzzah! Elbow in the fudge. You can't take an elbow in the fudge and say, I'm sorry. They should have respect. Bok choy!
Oh. The old bok choy deal. Are they hitting us with a commercial? Oh, of course they are. Don't give me a commercial. If you're going to give me the commercial, at least give me the freaking commercial. What are you talking?
Bok choy! Let me get some of that! Could I get a pork and chips? I'm looking for chicken. What are we doing over there? Can I get myself? I need some of that really, really terrible octopus. She smells like it. Could I get some to go home? To bring? Give me it in a freaking paper bag. What are we doing? This guy over here. What is this guy doing? Buddy, look at them armpits. This guy smells like Vietnam. The bad time of Vietnam, when they were killing people and they were in the friggin' river. Hey, the rice paddies and stuff. I was there for a little while. The elbow in the fudge. You can't disrespect the fudge. They're disrespecting the Vouch! I'm here! I don't even have a freaking title. I gotta stand around and get no respect. I can't figure. What are we doing? Smelly lady over here. It's the last time I'm coming to this wet market.
Oh my goodness. I got another for you guys. I hope you enjoy this one too. This is where we prove some things for you live in the moment.
The solution to managing work complexity and boosting
Oh my
productivity across the business
goodness. I'm
has
so
arrived.
excited about it. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the show. Oh, goodness. What story do we have here, Joanne? No, Joanne, I don't need you to tell us. I was just joking. Can we get HD? I may have to go back to 720p. All right, Joanne, do it again from the top. I was making a joke or not. I just mentioned about how horrible you are. And so when I go to you and I say, Joanne, that's not to really get a response from you in George Soros, which, by the way, is a language. We've determined that when you speak George Soros, it's an actual language, and it's almost like, Jedi style. You're like, freaking A. He's got it. NASA astronaut Mark Pires breaks American space flight record. Now, Joanne, when they say space flight record, is that really being accurate? Or are we more saying lower Earth orbit record? Like, what are we talking about over here? Okay, let's read it. Let's see what he's got here for space flight. Mark Pires made it into the record books on Thursday. On Tuesday, Joanne, I can't see the friggin' screen because you're scrolling too fast. He broke the record for the most consecutive days in space. Again, loose term, by an American explorer. Pires arrived at the space station, which is, I think, 220 miles above planet Earth, just for, clarity. The moon is 265,000 miles away. They're 221 miles, 220, 218, 221, they're down it. When you realize that lower Earth orbit is just like right there, like, oh, I'm driving to New Jersey? Yeah. Maybe a little bit like Pennsylvania. I just drove to Pennsylvania. I'm there in space? Really? That's a loose term, I believe, Joanne. When they say space, they should say in the friggin', Earth's atmosphere, lower Earth orbit deal, most time in history in lower Earth orbit, to me, has a better ring than most days consecutive in space when you friggin' didn't go to space. Theoretically, he made it into record books on March 15th, 2022. How long was he up there? Let's see, 355 days in low Earth orbit. Pires arrived at the space station on April 9th, 2021, and is expected to return home on March 30th, 2022, after spending 355 days in low Earth orbit. The duration breaks the previous record held by NASA astronaut Scott Kelly by 15 days. His then crewmate Thomas Pesquet snapped picture saying, if you're reading this sitting down, maybe on a couch or sofa, consider that we will not sit down until we're back on Earth, because we're here in space. Of course, we don't need to sit down up here because I'm in space, and I'm not complaining at all, because in space, sometimes the wonderful feeling of being relaxed here in space, that moment when you can change from running around to letting yourself drop into a chair, that moment can be wonderful, and I'm sure you all agree. We do miss it sometimes, because we're up here in space. I think Mark did here too, and make a makeshift reading table to enjoy a book, Absolutely unnecessary in weightlessness, but so nice to construct some semblances of normal life every now and then here in space. Record-breaking NASA astronaut. Joanne, you going to give me the same byline? Like, I got to read it again, Joanne? You can't clean up the story before you send it my way. Van de Hey will return in a Soyuz spacecraft as scheduled alongside cosmonauts, Joanne. Yeah, he's the cosmonauts Peter Dioprov and Anton Shkleplerov. Nailed that one. While clocking the single longest space flight, lower Earth orbit flight, by a NASA astronaut, Van der Hey contributed to dozens of studies from hundreds executed during his mission, like looking down at the Earth from 200 miles, including 6 science investigations supported by NASA's Human Research Program, or HERP. It's the HERP, Joanne. They've got the HERP. Who knew that NASA had the HERP, you know? Like, I mean, like sometimes you see that person and they got like something going. You're like, dude, no, don't ever share a freaking drink with that person. But to know that like NASA's got the herp, like before you even make contact, it's good information to have. You know, you don't want to get caught up and wind up with the herp and getting it from NASA. Just letting you know. You know, Van der Hey, I guess he's got the herp. Hold on, I'm on up. Got the herp. I suppose so did Scott, whatever his name is, right? The guy from last year, Scott Kelly. I think he had the herp too. I mean, he must have, right? They both were there working on the herp. Like many 6 investigations to be exact with the herp. You know, like you investigate the herp more than once, there's a good chance you got herp. You know what I mean? You're there, you're getting it, you're sharing it. The world is just a different place when you leave that lower Earth orbit flight. Our astronauts are incredible explorers of lower Earth orbit and helping expand our knowledge of how humans can live and work in space for longer periods of time. We got that information from here, traveling in lower Earth orbit. The NASA administrator, Bill Nelson, the guy also said, we don't have the technology to go back to the moon here, 2022. Carry the 2. Okay. Mark's a record-setting mission, and his contributions to science are paving the way for people to travel to lower Earth orbit on longer duration missions as the agency pushes the boundaries of exploration to the moon and Mars. Wait a minute. You're going to push the boundaries of exploration to the moon? Joanne! They want to actually go to the moon! That's freaking amazing. Hold on, I gotta read that part. Marks our record-setting mission, and contributions to science are paving the way for more people to travel to space, longer duration missions, as the agency pushes the boundaries of exploration. Where to, Joanne? Where are they pushing the boundaries of exploration to? Where they're going to go to the moon, you silly goose. Where do you think they're going to go? Oh, Mars too. Where they're going to go to the moon, finally. And dead. You know, like, Kubrick's dead. I'm just saying, you know, when you were doing it and you're trying to figure out, like, how do they land? And how do they get us? And how do they get that shot, you know? Like, as a film guy, I mean, I know, doing a show 3+ years every single day, I know where the camera works, where to go, where I'm not in screen. And I don't know by myself, 2022, without a device. They do make something. You can hold a button and it will and do a little scroll-a-roo for you. Pan, tilt, bang, biggity boo. But reality is, all alone, that freaking camera's sitting set. That's a set camera right there. If I move, the camera's sitting still. So what happened in 1960? Guys, the astronauts are incredible, though. They're going to be, you know, traveling longer durations and pushing the boundaries of exploration. Just remember that, to the moon. It's happening. It's happening. You know, I can't fault them for trying to get to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, that would be pretty cool. You know, because they've only gone to freaking 220 miles up in the lower Earth orbit. But all these comments about space here, you know, like, oh, look, we're doing so much to understand space. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kill it. Like, oh, you're going to finally go? Okay, great. Thanks for coming out. I love this line. It tells you everything you need to know right there. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said this marks a record-setting mission, and his contributions to science are paving the way for more people to travel to lower Earth orbit, which they call space, on longer duration missions as the agency pushes the boundaries of exploration to the moon. And then they threw in and Mars. But let's take the and Mars out there and let's just read that again. Longer duration missions as the agency pushes the boundaries of exploration to the moon. Interesting. Thank you for your service, Mark, and congratulations for continuing the lie. For one investigazione, Vandahai helped grow and evaluate vegetables harvested with the space station's vegetable production system, called a VPS, Joanne. They got a VPS system there. They're doing it, you know. Some people say that the investigation seeks to develop a food production system that can help astronauts meet their dietary needs with fresh vegetables cultivated in space, Joanne. You know, Joanne, I'm just curious, when it comes down to doing it, you know, like, oh, look, I'm the one who spent most time in space. Why don't you just, like, I don't know, you grab like a weird, like, bungee system deal, you tie yourself to 2 trees, and you hang out in the air for 356 days, right? And you say, I've been the longest person in space. And they're like, no, you were not in space. No, these people weren't either. Let's clarify something here, you moes. Okay? That's not space. It's a space above Earth. It's the atmosphere above Earth. It's not freaking space. 200 plus miles is not space. 256,000 miles. You go to the freaking moon? You ever do that? Accomplish that? I'll backing you up on that one. Oh, good for you. You did the moon. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm going to watch that one live. You better freaking have good, equipment. 2022. We don't have the technology for that. You gotta be kidding. NASA set. Oh, here we go, Joanne. This is a continuation. Sometimes we do a double-decker story to continue where we're going on a vibe, you know. NASA set to test mega rocket that will take humans back to the moon, or to the moon. Let's just say that, just to be honest, Joanne. All right, come on. Oh, goodness, guys. So when we're doing it, we're doing it, you know. We used to do the news every day with Joanne. Just back there wheezing, you know. Occasionally she'd throw me off my game. She'd scroll too quickly, teleprompter style. I managed. It's harder for me to get over the wheeze than it was to deal with the teleprompter, you know, or sometimes when she wheezes, she double-deckers it, you know. Like, I'm trying to read along. You know what I mean. Anyway, guys, I'm hoping tomorrow we can get some more craziness in. We are winding down to the end of year 4 of this show and the start of year 5. And I'm excited that you're here with me for this because you've missed a lot. So I hope you'll go back and just push play on stuff and just watch, especially the shows. All of the content comes from the shows. So the best thing you could do is just pick a live show. Go back to, there's a thing that says Mark Pires, Renaissance Man, live every day since 12/31/18. And I think within there's like 900 or 1,000 full shows. I didn't put that for all on every playlist. I should have, but that's a good start. Just go pick random stuff. And if you hear a song that you're like, Mark has to edit this into something, leave a comment. Just tell me where you heard the song, or if a piece of comedy and like I haven't dropped it. Or even if you don't know if I've dropped it. Hey, this was a funny bit at 27 minutes and 15 seconds. Just leave the comment so I can go and check it out. And if it's something I can cut and drop, I'll leave a note and say it's you that put it out there. So I appreciate you guys helping me find some of the good content I've never been able to cut. Mostly every show I'll do the show and I'm like, oh my goodness, we wrote 3 songs tonight. I can't wait to go and edit those. And then the next day I spend all my day in real estate and then I come back out here to do the next show and I miss those 3 songs. And this last couple weeks I've missed so many songs. It's crazy. I got to get them all. I got to go back and find them all. So, but that's the challenging thing, to write a great song and then miss it. And I've missed so many. I miss so many. They're within the shows, though. So if you guys can go back and find them for me, I'll then edit them down and create my full jazz jam. Like the way they present themselves, just so you know, is like you'll hear a piece of music, then you'll hear me jamming, and then you'll hear me adding all these other loops into the loop, you know, bass, piano, and then I'll start singing all this crazy stuff. And then at the end, I'll start looping a vocal, and there will be some hook at the very end. If you hear something like that, please leave a note, because those are the ones that I need to cut. Those are the songs. And anything else I'm like jamming on and it sounds cool, you could say, hey, there's a cool guitar part. But the stuff you hear something develop, and at the very end, there's all these vocals like this. You got to go away. Like that type of stuff, where it's like, what the? That stuff, just send a note and hey, go get that and just drop it. I can't tell you how many. I'm really sad I haven't been able to get out to you guys, but I do have some stuff coming, so please keep sharing, and I will see you tomorrow. Let me say goodnight to you. Let's see who's on with us tonight, fam and friends. I see Aiming for Wisdom. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad to see you around. It only gets better, my friend. And we are all, I think, especially, I've seen some of the messages you're putting up there. I think you and I think very similarly. And that's why we're all together. So does Andrea, and Bradley, and Sid, and Jacqueline, and S-Coop, and Stacy Michaels, and Trish, and Virginia, and We of Liberty and Freedom. And again, S-Coop, thank you so much for your donation again tonight. Amazing. You guys are really unbelievable. The showing up is, to me, it just means the world, because I keep going. And I don't know who's going to come out and support every day, but it does mean a lot. Even if you can't make the live show, if you can come and check out the show, share it, or if you see something funny within it, just let somebody know there's something that can make them laugh a little. And tomorrow, V-Dub in the house. Good to see you, V-Dub. I'm working on that song that we started with your recommendation last week. All these songs, but it's midnight. I have to go. I'm working on a beat seat right now, too. For our brother Solar Jim. So we're gonna have another family member with a beat seat. How cool is that gonna be? Guys, you can go to beatseat.rocks and get yours.